Hello, my loves. This is going to be quite a different vlog from usually because if I don't do it this way, I will just not talk about my time in Germany at all. So I will try to keep it short. I will try to stay precise on the topic, and let's just dive into the time in Germany. So at the end of May, I traveled to Germany for a little more than a week, or it was exactly a week, to work there. It was just work, but it was also extremely overwhelming again because Germany just is on another vibration level. Call me crazy or whatever. I'm sure there are people out there who can 100% relate to what I'm saying. If you have traveled to different countries, then you have experienced different vibrations of cities and people and their friendliness, and it's just different. So when I got there, I worked for a client that I used to work with for years now, and we went to different factories and I filmed everything for hygiene and stuff there because, I have this videography business, so that was part of the job. And what I don't want to let out here is that I, of course, was so happy to meet all of my wonderful, wonderful girlfriends there and spend time there, especially also with a friend who has a horse, and visiting the horse and just being there. It is very special and it was very beautiful. And what makes this time so challenging for me are moments like these, when I have to travel with public transport, or when I am forced into situations that are completely normal. Don't get me wrong, it's normal that you have to use public transport and everything, but it's just hard for me to deal with that, with the nervous system that I have. So I tried to create moments like these in between.
Ja, langsam, Gruber. He's a good boy. Ja.
After my work for that client was done, I was driven to a women's retreat where it was also my job to film there, but I was also invited to take part of the practices. And without going into too much detail what we were doing there or how everything was there, because it was simply beautiful, and instead of telling, I will just show you. So this is what the retreat was like. looking back, I can take so many beautiful and nourishing moments from there. It is just a different kind of connection if you open and you are vulnerable to other people, even sometimes people you don't know. So I opened up there a lot and I showed myself very vulnerable, even though I worked. That's why you didn't see me in the movie, because I was behind the camera. But being so open and so touched and so vulnerable, and then having to drive with the public transport to the airport was a horrible decision. That I regret with my whole heart. Also, everyone I talked to, all of my friends afterwards said, like, how did you even get this idea? That was just, I don't want to call it stupid, because I didn't want other people to have to drive me there, because the airport is really pretty far away from the city center, so it's always around an hour what someone has to drive there to bring me there, and then they have to drive back. So I didn't want to put that on someone else's shoulders, so I drove with the public transport. And what happened is, in all this being vulnerable, being open, being in connection, and then being thrown in this normal everyday life with all the noises and all the busy people, annoyed people, I didn't feel safe around them. I didn't feel seen around them. Of course not, because they are just normal people. They don't know me. Why would they care about me? But I was not in the best place mentally to put myself in that situation after having lived in the north of Sweden for a year now, because I don't drive public transport here because it is almost not existent. Of course, we have it, but I don't use it in my daily life. And during the high season in the shopping area where we go shopping sometimes, there are a lot of people. But otherwise, if I don't want to, I don't have to see any person during a day. And there in Berlin, in the train stations, thousands, hundreds of people. So when I got to the hotel, I had a mental breakdown. Completely, I had a panic attack. I was shaking on all my body. I was crying like hell. You have to imagine, I arrived there with a taxi driver who drove me from the Berlin airport, where I arrived with the train, to the airport hotel. My flight was to go on the next morning, and he drove me there. I already said, sobbing, crying in his backseat, because I already was over the top when I arrived at the airport. He couldn't care less. Like, he ignored me on a professional level. You can't imagine. He didn't look at me. He didn't talk to me, nothing. When we arrived at the hotel, he got out of the car, literally threw my bags on the street, left them on the street, and just drove off. Like, I could get out of the car, of course, but it was such a surreal situation. And then, of course, the whole hotel had a restaurant on the ground floor with all glass front. And of course, it was full with people. I saw it with the side eye, and I was like, I couldn't care less. I can't be ashamed right now, because I am having a fucking breakdown. So I stood in front of this hotel and had a massive panic attack. And after I felt like I could speak again, I could check in the hotel. It was evening, shortly before 8 p.m. in the evening. And I was just so done. And the next day, of course, with Berlin Airport, checking in and everything, I felt much better because I was traveling home again, but still it was very stressful. And it was very, very sweet when one of the participants from the retreat asked me 2 days later, do you still feel the aftermath of the relaxation of the retreat? And I was like, no, I absolutely don't. Berlin managed to destroy everything within just a few hours. So I am going to end this chapter of Germany right here. I guess this is one of the shortest vlogs that I ever made. I don't know, but I guess so. And what I want to share with you is that the next vlog and everything that happened after Germany, because I have been back now for 2 weeks already, but I just couldn't get my mind into how do I tell the story of Germany. There is no creative flow, there is no passion, I just don't like it. I don't like it there, I don't want to go there, and I don't want to give it too much space on my YouTube channel. So what I am going to do next, with the next vlog, which will be released around, I guess, midsummer in June, it will be so good, because it will be filled with visiting friends, being in nature. I created art, finally, for the first time since, I guess it was January or February. The weather is amazing, and it is just... And I will already say goodbye, and I will thank you for watching this, because I don't know, just thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking with me. Feel free to write in the comments what your perception of Germany is, if you already have been to Germany, and if you maybe have experienced the same feeling that Germany is just like on super high stressful vibration that is just, it's no. Just share with me your experiences, and if you have any tips for a German on how to deal with Germany, then I'm more than happy to read. So thank you so much for watching, and see you again in the middle of June with a vlog as usual from the beauty of the north. Thank you. Bye.